This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everyone. We've got information that's going to be impactful in your life. How do I know this? Because last time I got together with him, we started talking about this, and we didn't even get to all of it because it was an eye-opener in so many regards. I'm talking about the 10 deadly items you want to reduce or eliminate in your life. Yeah, let's circle back on that with the owner of Omar Spa and Wellness. He also practices Reiki and so much more in the metaphysical world. He's got a lot of knowledge. You're going to see that in a second. Dean Waziry is back with us. How you doing today?
Oh my God, I'm fabulous, Steve. Thank you so much for hosting me once again this morning. I think, I'm always inspired by people like yourself, people that are trying to make a difference. And today, you and I, last episode, we talked about the 10 items that hopefully we're able to eliminate. But to tell you the truth, nowadays, these items are in everything. So let's at least do our part and try to reduce these items as much as possible. So we're taking some control of how we live our lives.
Before we dig in to this, or the remaining 8, let's go back, recap the first 2.
Okay, the first 2, the one big one, you kind of brought it up yourself, was plastic. And we talked about the impact of plastic on our lives. And the second item was anything that have been processed as far as papers. So we're talking toilet paper, female products, baby diapers, anything that have been bleached or have been treated with what we call forever chemicals. They call it forever chemicals because once they enter, they do not exit our bodies.
And on the plastics thing, I'm trying to recall if you said this or I heard it somewhere, but something to the effect of we ingest basically a credit card a week or month in turn because there's so many microplastics in everything that we consume.
100%. That was me on your last interview. We do consume up to, that's an average person, and that's not my saying, that's been proven by research. And according to research, they say that an average person consume approximately equivalent to a credit card a week. And I tell you, and we went into that last conversation as well. Well, you know what? Whether it's once a week, once a month, once a year, you are injecting material that your body, your digestive system is not capable of breaking down and totally reduced out of your body or eliminating or dealing with. So your body, when we were created by our creator, we were created not to be digesting plastic. So our body doesn't know what to do. A lot of people think that our stomach produces enough acids to break down plastic. The fact of the matter, it does to an extent. So plastic, your digestive system is able to break down to an extent. However, it does not eliminate it. So a big percentage stays in the body.
Have you ever, and we're going to move on to the next one, but final thought here. Have you ever seen some of those videos where they show you the ocean somewhere, now Indonesia, wherever it might be, you don't see water. You see pieces of plastic all over, and that's just there. All of that filters out to the rest of the world, and that's just one location. There's plenty of them out there.
Yes.
Mind-blowing what we're ingesting. Unbelievable.
Oh, and here's the thing. We are also impacting the lives in the ocean. So all the seafood, other than we are harming them. So if we're totally like selfish and we don't care about other creatures and we say, you know what, I'm not worried about what happened to all the creatures in the oceans, guess what? You're consuming them.
Right.
So when you eat those seafood and fish, or when you drink that water, if it's sweet water, when we take this water in our body, again, we're injecting plastic, and we are consuming from the ocean and from the sea, and those creatures have also been impacted to a huge extent as well.
Crazy. Yeah, their bodies weren't designed to filter that stuff out. All right. So those two that we talked about previously, let's pick up. Is this in just any order? No order of importance, or is this in an order?
No, this is not in any order of importance. And um, this is my personal list of the 10. The list is not 10. The list is pretty long. Uh, and I wanted to just give people some to start with. And they're not in any order, and they're not in any priorities, and there are some things that some of my guests or some of the friends I talk to, they say, well, there's also this and that and the other thing, and I say, yeah, absolutely. We're not just saying these are the 10, and would be absolutely fabulous if we eliminate or reduce those 10, but at least it's a good start. There
Sure.
is more.
That's scary. What's the next one?
The next one is the obvious one, sugar.
Mm,
Sugar is poison. Sugar cause so many illness and so many different diseases. Our bodies, or us as humans, we love sugar. What else loves sugar? Cancer cells. Cancer cells also love sugar. So when we consume sugar and we love it, we're also making our cancer cells in our body as happy as we are by consuming sugar. Sugar has been proven to cause so many health issues, so many weight issues, and sugar is basically
mm,
poison, and we need to reduce or again eliminate. I'll give you a solution. It's and some people argue that and say, well, whether it's honey or date syrup, that also might impact your blood sugar in general. Yes, it does, but it's natural, it's organic, hopefully in most cases. And if it does impact your blood sugar, it has more benefits than harm,
mm.
and it's not chemically made, it's not chemically processed, and hopefully you consume in just a small percentage of it. But honey in general is known also to have so many medicinal purpose and medicinal benefits. So
Sure.
I replace any kind of sugar, definitely nothing unnatural. I replace that with honey, date syrup, and I I've I have amazing resorts in all of my recipes. So all my desserts at the restaurants are made with honey. All my cocktails are made with honey as well.
Wow. I've heard inflammation, a big word now, and we don't even know that we have inflammation, but it's affecting our health. I've heard that the number one thing that causes inflammation is sugar.
You're absolutely right. And Steve, I'm sure you have somebody or a friend that tells you that they try every diet out there and they don't seem to lose weight and their bodies seem to be bigger than normal. And that's basically because what they have is not fat. What they have is their cells. Our bodies are made out of billion of cells. And if these cells are extended or expanded beyond its size, we look bigger. And we look bigger in areas where we cannot exercise and reduce it. So, if you start to reduce your inflammation in your body natural also shrink. So that's a great way to look healthy as well, and help your physique is to reduce your inflammation.
Hmm. So that's three things that we want to eliminate from our lives, deadly items. What's the next one?
Seed oil. Seed oil
Hmm.
is, there's there are several seed oils that were not even produced for human consumption. So they started out to be produced during the World War II and World War I, and uh, to be used on machineries. And since we don't have any more major wars in the war, then we don't have the need for all this oil. And this oil, looked as it's something that people or factories could benefit monetary. Then it was again taken out, reprocessed, and repurposed, and with the help of genius marketing, put in
Mm.
bottles, put a picture of the Heart Association on it and say it's great for your heart. you know Eat this, and instead of use it as lubrication for your vehicles or your machinery, it's really great for your heart. And that's the biggest lie. And another big lie is we were told that animal fat is not healthy, and we
Mm.
believe that. And we say, wait a minute, if you go back and say, why would what my body is made of not be something that's healthy for me? I'm made of the same material that other creatures are made of. So the fat, the meat, all the things that, we've been told lately that reduce or eliminate, that's not good for you. Then you look at it and say, I have fat just like the fat I'm eating. Why would that be harmful?
Sure.
Maybe my body could take that fat and process it faster when it needs fat. So now I'm not storing, my body is not saying, well, there's no more fat left. Let's store some. That's what happened in your body. If you don't give your body fat, your body is made to survive and is going to say, well, we're going to go into starvation here. We're not getting enough fat. Let's store fat. And that's how people start to, instead of burning fat and using it for energy, now your body is basically taking everything you consume to an extent and turn it to fat. So if you give your body natural fat, your body will start processing that fat first and use it for energy. So again, seed oil, please try to reduce or eliminate. What we use instead? I use ghee, I use tallow, I use olive oil, I use avocado oil. All these items are absolutely marvelous, marvelous for cooking. The
Hmm.
flavors is insane when I use beef tallow to cook with, or when I use ghee. And by the way, just a side note here, a lot of people ask me, what's the difference? Ghee and tallow, aren't they the same? No, they're not the same. Ghee basically is a process of milk or cream, that's heavy cream in particular. If you take heavy cream, you over whip it, it turns to butter. And if you melt that butter, it becomes ghee. And tallow is basically if you take fat from any source or any animal, whether it's lamb or beef or anything, and you melt it down, it's tallow. So ghee, tallow, olive oil, and avocado oil, all are wonderful, wonderful alternative. They're available. They're great for your health. They have great flavor. So please make the switch. That's an easy one.
Mm. Thanks for bringing it up. You're right. You bring back memories of marketing. Years ago, they were talking beef bad, bad. No, don't eat meat. Don't eat meat. Well, who was doing that? That was probably the Farmers Association. Then there was the whole butter thing. Bad. No, no butter. I know. Thank God it's not butter. Use this margarine stuff. And then
Yeah.
and I even have a friend who's a fitness person and a nutritionist. And even back then, he was like, "Yeah, use a margarine substitute." He completely changed around and said, "Yeah, I was wrong about that. Butter's great. Use butter."
Use butter.
It's all
Use
a
butter.
marketing stuff.
Marketing, my friend, is,
Yeah.
I tell you this sad story. I grew up in the Middle East. And I remember as a child, when we are driving around the city, you'll see all these billboards with, one of the most famous cigarettes in the Middle East is, the one with the red label on it. Let's not call names. And you'll see that very, great looking man on top of a horse, And
Yep.
that was a sample of strength and power and beauty. And he's sitting
Yep.
there smoking a cigarette. Well, 50 years later, oh, by the way, we forgot to tell you, here's a warning that it causes cancer. It's the same thing. One day all these things will be proven to just cause illness and problem and destroy lives. So let's not just take a chance. uh, if I'm in the middle of the ocean, I'm not gonna jump in the water and say, "Oh, I may survive." Let's just not jump in the water. Let's not take chances with our health, with our lives, and with our loved ones.
I'm right there with you, and I know what you're talking about in that campaign for cigarettes. And if you, and this is, I'm not making this up, if you Google it, and there was multiple men on the horses as part of those ad campaigns, as far as I know, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but most of those men, if not all of them, died from lung cancer.
Oh my God!
Google it.
There you go.
Like
Yeah,
like seven of them, and because they knew some of the men got older. We need a younger looking guy over generations, and that
yeah.
all of them lung cancer, and one of them, I believe, died from respiratory issues, COPD or something like that. The other's lung cancer. Confirmed. Check it out. So I think we're up to. Are we up to number 7 now, or is this number 6?
We're doing very good.
I think we're up to
We
number 7.
we got five. Now we're
Ah,
going to six.
gotcha. All right. Which thing do we want to avoid?
Microwaves.
Mm,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, please, 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 microwaves.
Yeesh.
Yep. Go home, take that thing. Or you know what? If you have one, leave it because it might look good in your kitchen. So don't make a hole in your cabinet. Leave it. Or use it. You know what I use sometimes microwave for? Sometimes I like to get um like a damp towel and put it like on my knee or something like that. So I stick it in the microwave for a second.
Hmm.
But that's about all my usage with microwave. What
Wow.
happened? Why is microwave so popular? Because it's convenience. So people say, well, Dean, it's convenient. I come home, I'm tired, I grab something, put it in the microwave. It's convenient. I say, absolutely, it is convenient. But let's say, is convenient more important than life? Do you choose to get things done fast so it slows you down, it makes you lazier, it makes you less productive, it makes you sit on the couch for hours because you're poisoning your system, or getting home, making yourself a meal, being active, having more energy in your body, living a healthier life, be able to produce more, do more, is better for you. Which one is better? And
Wow.
I always also say, is laying in bed for tens of years looking at the ceiling because you're being hospitalized for all the things you've done for yourself all your life, is that convenient for anybody? Is being plugged to a wall is
Yeah.
convenient? You
Ow.
tell me.
Ow.
Tell me
Oh.
I'm wrong.
I get where you're going with that. It hurts. And I mean, the microwave, I'm not surprised. I've heard that here and there, but it's a challenge in many of our lives, and maybe we should start looking at the air fryer. Are you okay with the air fryer?
Oh my God, it's worse.
We'll
The
just move
air.
on. We'll just move on to number 7 now.
Yeah, move on. Steve. Here. I tell you something. Uh, not a lot of people can see me, but you could see me. And when I tell them I'm 57 years old,
You look great. Wow.
a lot of
Wow.
people think I'm a little younger than 57. And people like, how do you do that at the age of 57? I say, well, I tell you, I personally sleep 4 hours a night, and I've been on that sleeping routine for about 5 years. And people like, Dean, but that's not healthy either. It's not healthy if I'm starving my body from getting the sleep that it needs. My body does not need more than 4 hours. After 4 hours, I'm totally rejuvenated, ready for another day. I jump out of bed, I start my day, I run around all day. I could run circle around any 20-year-old I know. And how is that possible? Well, it's possible because I follow certain discipline in my life that allows me to do this and do it so well. So by eliminating some of these things, you put in more energy in your life. You're able to get on your feet and make a meal. You are not as tired, my friend, because your body is not so over processed and just so exhausted for all the things and all the things that your organs is trying to fight to keep you healthy. Then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I got energy in my body to do more than the things that I need to do for convenience.
You look amazing for 57. Wouldn't even come close to that
Thank you, my
number.
friend.
Wow. We have about 3 or 4 minutes tops left, so I don't want to. I want to make sure we get to all 10. So number 7, which one is that?
I call that, there's so many names for it, but I call it processed food, or a better word is food that is not for human consumption. Food that is not for human consumptions. And I repeat, and people look at me and they're like, what do you mean is not meant for human consumption? If I order a fast food, a chicken sandwich, or a cheeseburger, or something like that, my expectation, if I order a chicken sandwich, it has chicken, maybe some tomato, maybe some pickle, a piece of bread, and that's it. 5 ingredients, maybe some salt. All right, 6 ingredients, maybe a couple more things, 8 ingredients. But when I look into details and I see that there are 50 ingredients in that chicken sandwich, what are these 50 ingredients? And then they start reading those, and I'm like, what are these? These
Yep.
sound like things that are made on a different planet. Well, because they are not food items. They're all chemicals, they're all preservatives, they're all things that the food industry doesn't even want to tell you what it is. They give you complicated names for it, so hoping that you don't even look into it. But these items, all the things that are processed food, anything that is not natural. When you go and you get in a can of tomato, it should say tomato on it. Just hit tomato
Yeah.
and a couple other things. But when there are 12, 15, 20 ingredients in there, rest assured, these things are not for human consumption. When you take food and put it on the shelf for a month, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and it's still good, there are things in it
Hundred
that are,
percent. It's a,
are killing you.
look at baked products. English muffins. I like an occasional English muffin. I don't even have the whole. I cut it in half.
Yeah.
If I want to get a little carb in the morning, whatever. I've got them sitting there since June, and
Yeah.
they haven't changed. I'm not, and so I'm like, well, don't need to get any more. I'll just keep using these. Why? Same thing. French fries. UK. 4 ingredients in their French
Right.
fries. We've got 17 ingredients typically from our fast food places. Number 8. What do we got there?
Number 8 is farmed fish. Farmed fish. So terrible for you. It's basically they have these farms where they take hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of fish stuck into little pond and
Yeah.
feed them colors, have them eat each other, have them have their feces on each other, and in return, these fish are so sick, they're so full of uh, parasites,
Oh,
and they're not even close to what the natural fish. For example, Atlantic salmon. You go to any supermarket, they like Atlantic salmon, and people like, oh, Atlantic salmon that comes from the Atlantic Ocean. No, the grandparents of that fish came from the Atlantic Ocean. That fish, his last name is Atlantic, but that fish was in a farm, and that fish is so bad for you. And if you go to eat sushi, especially in an average sushi restaurant, you eating those creatures raw. So now you're consuming these things
oh,
raw, and it's going. You know where it's going, Steve? I'm sorry to say it. is going to your brain. So it goes. So these creatures now they go and live in our brains, and they go and create these colonies with
Oh,
millions. Oh,
Dean, I can't. And parasites, they're everywhere. They're in our bodies. They are. Go Google it. However, you're just from those farm raised seafood. They already have parasites. We got a minute left. Number 9. What do we got?
pork.
Ooh, okay.
Pork similar to farm fish, the same thing. So pork, if you could reduce, eliminate that beautiful bacon in the morning, all that is really horrible for you.
Wow.
They say pork is one of very few. Pork is the only animal that doesn't sweat. So if you do any sports or you do any jogging or running, your body sweats, and when your body sweats, takes out all the poison. Well, a pig doesn't sweat, and that's why when you go to a pig farm, you see them rolling in anything liquidy, including what, because they want to cool down their body, and so it's the same thing. Pork have parasites that does not cook, does not die, and when you eat it, it goes right in your body as well. All right, here's the number 10 is anything unnatural when it comes to clothing. Your clothing should be cotton, linen, silk. If you are not wearing this material, especially if you put it in places closer to your body, your underwear, your t-shirt, your socks, all these things that are now stuck on your body, if these materials are not natural, now these materials are impacting your hormone system. It's causing you to slow down. It's causing you to have all this mood change and all the other issues and problems.
Wow.
Steve, always a pleasure speaking with you, my man. And
You know
I'm
what,
so happy
Dean?
we got the list done.
Dean, I love you and I hate you at the same time because you're right. I can't deny any of it. You're validating things I've heard, right down to the microwave, right down to the farm raised seafood, right down to the pork. Is that like I don't want to hear it, but you are telling us for a reason. This is all backed up. How do we connect with you, Dean? I know that you're located in Arizona, where your center is, the Spa and Wellness Center. Do you have a website?
Yes, absolutely. So, Steve, I'm going to say this before I give you my information. You could hate me now, but you're going to love me later.
I got you.
Because what I'm giving you is I'm giving you a long-term happiness instead of a short-term misery.
You're
So
right. I'm not
you
denying.
connect with me. Urbanfresh.com. Urban, URBAN, fresh is FRAICHE. Urbanfresh.com. I'm the owner of the company. We have food and beverage, which is Urban Fresh Restaurant. And our Urban Fresh Restaurant, by the way, is top rated restaurant in Phoenix right now because we're all natural, organic, chemical free. We have a lifestyle center half a mile away from that location, and we have our spa, our florist, everything lifestyle, and just count on me as a friend. You don't have to come in and spend anything in any of my organization other than your time, and I'm happy to give you whatever answer that I have. And if I don't have the answer, I would dedicate my time to do research and give back to any of my friends, family, or guests.
Dean, thank you for doing what you do and all the information. I appreciate it. It's so important. And everything, I can't punch a hole in any of that because I've been following it. You're just the reminder for many of us. So good. Thanks for being here today.
God bless you, my friend.
You too. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.